I went to the Bright Eyes concert last month. Here are some nice pictures that I took from that evening. I went to this concert with my friend Angelo, and first off, I will just say it was very nice to share this with him, because sometimes it really is the people that you go with that end up making the concert what it is. When I was growing up, Angelo was my only friend who was also into Bright Eyes, and so it kind of became something that him and I bonded over. And I just think it's kind of cool that even to this day, Bright Eyes still feels like it's this secret that only him and I share in, and it's also just something that the rest of our friends don't really understand. And actually, he's even got some stories of people kind of, making fun of him for liking Bright Eyes. Because, for whatever reason, this band, sometimes they just get very negative, visceral reactions out of people. This is actually the fourth time that Angelo and I have seen Connor perform in some form or another. We have seen him once with Bright Eyes before, and we've also seen him perform with Monsters of Folk. And we've also seen him once as a solo act. And I would say that seeing him this time around was probably the best time that we've ever seen him. Some highlights from the set list for me were the song We Are Nowhere and It's Now, just because that is one of my favorite Bright Eyes songs, so it was very nice to hear it live. They also played a really neat version of At the Bottom of Everything with some interesting tempo changes and some varying energy levels. And I loved hearing Tin Soldier Boy because that one just has such a strong chorus and it's just very fun to sing along to, And they ended the night with Let's Not Shit Ourselves, which I thought, what a perfect song to end the night with, and really what a perfect song to be playing right now with the way that things are kind of shaking out in our world. And just as a side note, I had heard that earlier in the tour they were doing a cover of Deviltown by Daniel Johnston, and I really would have loved to hear that, and I'm a little jealous that I didn't get to hear it, but it's okay. Another highlight of the show for me personally, which is kind of separate from the music, was really just seeing Connor looking so healthy and performing with so much energy, because for better or worse, he is the type of guy that I sometimes worry about, and I know that I'm definitely not alone in that, and I know that other fans of the band also worry about him from time to time. I know that when the tour began last year, there was all sorts of news coming out about Connor showing up to the shows drunk every night and forgetting the lyrics to his songs, and also there was one night in Cleveland where he actually told the audience that he was going to kill himself.
Alright, sorry my voice is so fucked up, but I'm gonna take care of it. Probably not, but I'm gonna kill myself, so it'll be apparently I'm not supposed to say that from stage. I'm not gonna kill myself, that's all. AKA not kill myself.
And this went on until they finally decided to cancel some of the tour dates, and it was due to a vocal cord injury. But I think this news, it brought a lot of relief to myself and other fans of the band who were following this story, because we also knew that Connor needed some time to just get his mental health back together as well. So to see him performing so well, and also with so much energy, just made me very happy. The whole night kind of felt like a family night for the band, because they are touring with Cursive, and from what I understand, these two bands have been very close since the very beginning. Tim Kasher from Cursive came out to sing Nothing Gets Crossed Out with Connor, and it was actually that performance that kind of made me realize that a lot of that song really is about their friendship. Cursive also came out for pretty much the entire encore, and between songs they were just reminiscing and they were sharing some stories from their past together, and it was all just very sweet. Over this past year or so, I think I've kind of come to realize that Bright Eyes really is one of my all-time favorite bands. And the funny thing about that is I don't think I'm even that aware of just how often I come back to their music. They were one of my top artists on Spotify last year, and I remember when I saw that, I was just a little bit surprised because I know I listened to them a bunch, but I didn't think I listened to them that much. You know what I mean? And considering how long I've been a fan, like I've been a fan of this band since I was a teenager, right? And I think that's kind of saying something, you know? Like I think there's just not that many bands that I still regularly keep up with after all these years. My first exposure to Bright Eyes was actually a live performance that they did on David Letterman back in 2003. They played a song called The Trees Get Wheeled Away. And I remember that I didn't like it immediately, but I could tell that there was something there that I really wanted to uncover. And that type of experience seems to be pretty common for people when they first hear Bright Eyes. This band seems to be somewhat of an acquired taste. And in fact, I know that Connor himself has expressed some frustration with that because he kind of knows that whenever he puts out a new album, people are probably not going to like it that much at first. So I might just suggest that if you've listened to Bright Eyes before and you kind of felt like it wasn't for you, I might suggest just maybe give them another shot, you know, because I would say there really is a lot going on in this music, you know, and I think it can really take some time before you start picking up on all the different flavors that are within the soup, so to speak. And I think to end this, I would just say that at least for me, Bright Eyes is a very special band, and I really don't think there's anybody else out there who can express themselves in the way that Connor does, you know. And I'm just very grateful that I got to see them again at this very mature point in their career.